Hi everyone, welcome to the first graphic novels recording, which will lead to the first graphic novels class. My name's Nathan Hall, I'm your teacher. Not sure how much longer I'm going to have this beard. So real quickly, here's what we'll talk about in the live class, how people are doing. The first few assignments you're going to notice are more built to determine what your attitudes are towards writing. What do you think of it? I'm going to let you in a little secret. This first few assignments, Pod 1, no wrong answers. Yeah, the big thing I want to see is if I give something that's just, what do you think? What do you feel? Who will answer? Because lots of times people won't. In fact, you're going to see right now, the class is just loaded up here. Let's take a look at what those are. VARK, that stands for verbal, auditory, reading, or kinetic, also called tactile by other people. How you learn best. A reading inventory determine what you think about reading. Then a game to get to know everyone. Two truths and two lies. So, once we have that done, we can take a look. Once I get to know you, we'll talk a little more about the books. First, let's take a look at the graphic form. Some people think comic books only go back to, say, Superman 1938, the big book itself, big and medium. I tend to think it goes back much further. Take a look at this. This goes back to I think the 13th century, could be 12th. So can you see what's happening here? It's almost like a panel, isn't it? We got dynamic action, we got lines going across, we've got conflict. Kind of bloody there, but so were most things in the Middle Ages. We'll talk about live class. Can anyone figure out what story this is? I know you can't read the text. That's all, medieval Latin there. Hey, wait, can we make a name? David. And a name here? Goliath. So, big guy in armor with a name like Goliath. Little dude with a slingshot. Never heard that story. So this is one thing we'll look at, is how the visual medium can enhance storytelling, how it can enhance narration, how it can show things beyond words, and in fact kind of transcend them. That'll be the activities we're doing this first pod, one of the big ones. Second thing we're going to look at, spend a lot of time discussing, symbolism. Very popular thing for cartoons. Some of the best things that have ever come from cartoons have come from symbolism. We have here a cartoon that managed to destroy a corrupt political boss, a cartoon that helped bring a nation together, a cartoon that made fun of a past president, and a cartoon making fun of a current president. So we'll talk about these in live classes, what they mean, what you can get from them, what the cartoonist's point is. So I guess there are activities, like I said, just do them, you'll be fine. Our first reading is about a fella named Long John Silver. Curious if anyone here's ever heard his stories, ever heard of him? You probably heard of his restaurant. He had nothing to do with that. So you almost certainly know the name. And I'll tell you right now, the book he came from, I won't tell you what it is here, but I will in the live class, influences just about everything you know about pirates, most of which is not historically accurate, unless you're a real pirate history reader. All that stuff about buried treasures, peg legs, and eye patches, not 100% accurate. But yeah, this was the book that introduced those tropes, those cliches, and other things. So the story itself is more of a straight adaptation. Just goes right into the action. We'll discuss what it shows, what it conveys, how the visual medium adds to it. Second story we're doing is an adaptation of a classic American novel, The Scarlet Letter. Not sure if you ever tried to read it. Not a fun read. Written back in the 1800s, written in an old-fashioned way to talk, written for very educated people of that time. So what we're going to do is something from Masterpiece Classics. It combines the story of the Scarlet Letter with the style of Little Lulu, very popular comic from the 50s. Your grandparents probably remember it better than you do, or even your parents. But she's actually enduring a bit of a revival. You might see her again soon. So this story, both the original was full of symbolism. The big thing comes down to that big red letter there, that A, what that means, how people react to it. And the graphic form, I liked it, picked this one because it really emphasizes that symbolism, really draws it together. The most important parts from here show up again in here, which we'll talk about what it means, whether it's easier to read, how it helps. Next couple pods, they're going to look at Astro City, Life in the Big City. I didn't want to get into the whole Marvel DC thing, so I picked something by Kirk Busiek. He wrote great stories for both of them. The stories are pastiches, where you can clearly recognize who they're supposed to be. Like this guy, clearly Superman. Another guy's kind of clearly Batman. Another woman's clearly Wonder Woman. But it's different stories, different takes, different directions, which really made this, some people said, one of the best comic series ever. So I know not everyone's a superhero comics fan. That's fine. I really wanted to include it though because, like it or not, the superhero thing really moved the graphic form in a big way. Very important to at least acknowledge it and examine it. So these stories, if you're not a fan of the traditional we're in tights and we hit things stories, I think you'll still like lots of these. They focus more on the human than the super and superhuman. Our next book we're going to do, American Born Chinese. This one's a little different because I really want to do a memoir, but I also want to do something on mythology. This one thankfully combines them. It's part memoir about a young Chinese American boy coming of age. There's Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, coming in. Sort of some Chinese mythology he reads about and applies to his life. Another character, Qing Qi, who is a stereotype of Chinese people, who he often, this is how he feels he often sees himself, people see him as, whereas he feels he looks more like this, and later tries way too hard to look American, with funny results. Well, I should say American, sorry, I should say white. Traditional, I can't think of a good way to say that. I'm not racist, honest. Okay, so course format. Once a week we have these live classes. Videos sometimes will have me. If I find someone better with a better voice, I'm putting that one on. Mainly we're going to be writing. Not a lot of multiple choice here. I'm not a big believer in this just, here's a date. What date did I tell you? Don't like that style of learning. I want you to tell me what you think. What symbols did you get? What's your interpretation of this? That's going to be most of what we do. I'm going to try up your reading skills, your writing skills, your literary analysis skills, all the stuff you can do with a big, thick, dense prose. We're going to do them too. We're just going to have more fun with it. You're still going to be a better reader at the end, possibly a better writer. If you write, that automatically makes you a better writer. So the first few assignments, just do them. Just want to see where you are, how you feel about reading and writing, get to know you. After that, we're going to get a little more analytical. And when we do, I'll give very clear instructions of what I want and how I grade. You'll know what to write. If you think I graded you wrong, we'll go over the rubric. Hey, I sometimes make mistakes. So if I did grade you wrong, we'll talk about it. If not, you got to take the grade you earned. But even then, we still do the option to redo assignments, redraft, retake, all that. So that's all for now. Any questions, come to the live class. At this point, the first weeks might also be a little hit or miss. I might be on paternity leave, about to become a father again. We'll see how that goes. That's all I have for now. This video's gone way longer than I would have wanted to. Goodbye.